Hello, folks. How are we doing? Cleaning up a little bit. Today is the 17th day of July, 2025. What time is it, Scotland? It's about 10 minutes till 6 in the evening. Doing some more stuff to help my neighbors this morning. Going to do it tomorrow morning starting at 9. So, doing that kind of stuff. Also applied for a job. I'm going to apply for more tomorrow. I think I'm going to be better than I was 6, 7 months, 9 months ago. The knee thing might help. We will see. However, I have been instructed I got to go see my pulmonologist. So I can lie to the pulmonologist and tell him I quit smoking. How you guys doing? Watching Donald Trump recently, something dawned on me that I thought was important enough to share with you guys. We see now that $9 billion in cuts to USAID has been approved by the Senate. And we also see that other ridiculous fucking cuts have also been approved by the Senate. So his Doge plans, his cut big government plans, is continuing. I also watched Cory Booker trying to ask the chairman of a Senate committee, I think he's Senate, Cory Booker's Senate, right? To stop what he was doing, which was fast-tracking the approval of a federal judge for Donald Trump, one of Donald Trump's fascist neoliberal choices. And Cory Booker did his best to say, listen, what are you doing? At least give us a chance to have a conversation to bring up our points. I know we're in the minority, but you can't just tell us to shut up and we're going to vote without having any kind of discussion on the matter, on the subject of this appointment. You can't do that. This is the Senate. What are you talking about? But Grassley, is his name Grassley, did it anyway. I'll show you some stuff on that in a second. And the rest of the Democrats who were on the committee all in unison got up and walked out, leaving Cory there just flabbergasted at what Chuck Grassley was doing. He was saying to him, I know you. I've worked with you for 10 years. This is not like you. What are you doing? You're just tossing out the Constitution and any kind of decorum in the fucking... People say to us on the left, and they said for a long time, we got to have decorum, Scott. We got to fucking try to meet these people halfway. They're not meeting halfway. They're liquidating. They're tearing it down. They're putting whoever they want in place. They don't give a shit about fucking decorum. They don't give a shit about hearing our opinions on jack shit. And people like myself and others said, no, there's no meeting these people halfway. These people are fucking fully fascist. And they have an agenda, which is to destroy the system of government that we have. But they still say to this day, oh, we gotta meet them halfway. A long time ago, a guy by the name of Bill Clinton told everybody on the left, we're losing too many. We didn't lose too many elections. Jimmy Carter won. We're losing too many elections. RFK Jr. would have won, but they killed him. John F. Kennedy won. We're losing too many elections. What we have to do in order to win is move to the center, which means become more Republican. And that's the same thing that people are telling us. You know, we got to We got to find some common ground. We got to work with the MAGA folks and the Trumpites and the Trumpies. They don't want to. They don't care to. They don't need to. So they're just running roughshod over us. And if you go pull up that video someplace, I should have pulled it up for you. I'm sorry I got other stuff, but I should have pulled that up for you. So you can see just how frustrated Cory Booker was. It doesn't happen in the Senate. Fuck you. You can't say a word. We're just going to immediately vote and approve, because I know we got enough people here to approve this nominee from Donald Trump's administration. And we're going to do that. So just shut up. You don't want to say anything. What they don't want, Cory kept asking him why. Apparently this nominee is a very controversial figure, very controversial nominee. And if given the chance, the Democrats would at least put into record by bringing up things that this nominee doesn't want brought up. By the same token, the Republicans don't want to vote for somebody, be seen voting for somebody after in the record all of the reasons this person shouldn't be a federal judge are brought up. So Chuck Grassley, I think that's the guy's name, old dude, just said, fuck you, we're not going to have any kind of debate, we're just going to vote. Because we've got so many people who have to go someplace else, let's just vote and get it over with and going. And the whole time, this is, this, we gotta meet in the middle. Remember when fucking Jen Cougar was saying that when he made his fucking hop on the fucking, on the Trump train with Anna Kasparian and all those. And a bunch of them did. They say we got to meet him in the middle. We got to work with him. We can't be exclusive. We have to kind of move to the center, right? Chuck Grassley, if this is Cory Booker over here on the left, by himself now, because the rest, all 12 of them have gotten up and walked out, the other Democrats. But there he is by himself trying his best. And he's not being rude. He's being respectful, saying, I know this is not like you. I've known you for 10 years. What are you doing? This is a betrayal of the decorum that we show each other in the Senate across the aisle. What are you doing? Grassley, if that's Booker right there saying this stuff, Grassley was like this the whole time. Like a petulant little child. So with these things going on today, in terms of the approval of what Trump and his Doge people did to USAID, NPR, public radio, all those things, deleting all of that shit, getting rid of all that shit, obviously the Consumer Financial Protection Board is gone, or at least deleted to the point where it's useless. And now with we don't care what you have to say in the Senate. We don't care about decorum. We don't care about tradition or history of being semi-fucking respectful to you. Screw you. We got the votes. Fuck off. I'm in charge. This guy's going to be in. That's it. Period. This is today. Well, you say, Scott, it's the power of Trumpy Bear. It's not Trump. Trump is a fucking lolcow. That's the point of this video. Trump is a fucking lolcow. Even his base, the MAGAites, the cult, are throwing away their fucking merch and burning their hats. And he's calling them stupid weaklings. His own base. MAGA. You think that guy has power? It's not Trump. It's the things that took him aside and said, we can flip this election for her. We don't need to flip it because she actually won. Or we can flip it for you to make you win, put you in office. but you're going to do what we want. You're going to do Doge. You're going to do fucking Gaza. You're going to bomb fucking Iran when we tell you to fucking bomb Iran. You're going to change your fucking tune on Russia. You're going to do what we tell you to do. And he said, okay. He sold his soul to the fucking devil because he so desperately wanted to be the man again. He didn't want to come out a loser in a second fucking election. So, after someone took pot shots at him, Peter Thiel had him over. Elon Musk was there. The real power, maybe Mark Andreessen, whatever his name is, maybe Mark Andreessen was there, who knows. But the real power brought him in and said, J.D. Vance is going to be your vice president. You mean the guy who said he would rather vote for Hillary Clinton than me in 2016? You mean that guy? The guy who was a never Trumper, said I was a Nazi? You mean that guy? Yeah, he's going to be your vice president. You got a problem with that? Go see if you can beat fucking Kamala Harris on your own. Which, by the way, he didn't. They rigged it for him. That's who they're siding with. They're not siding with the Lolcow. They're not siding with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is crashing out historically. I've never seen a president, even Nixon. I mean, Nixon was fucking 5 times, had 5 times the IQ of fucking Donald Trump to start off with. And people said he was paranoid and had everything fucking rigged for sound and for recording in the White House. He wasn't paranoid. He wasn't paranoid any more than Nancy Reagan was after Ronald got shot by the son of a family friend and business partner, Hinckley, of George H.W. Bush, which would have made him the president. And Reagan beat him in the primary. That was 60 days into his... She knew what the fuck was going on. She wasn't paranoid. She was aware. Nixon wasn't paranoid. He was aware. When he refused to slam the Milton Friedman brick down on the heads of the American people and instead said, you know what, go down to fucking Chile, 1973. Go down to Chile. Try it down there. See how it works down there. But we're all Keynesians now. When he did that, he realized he was screwed. He realized they were coming after him. And they did. He wasn't paranoid. I think Donald Trump and the entire Republican Party are terrified of the power these people have. These billionaires, the Thiels and the Musks and the Mark Andreessens and whatever the fuck his name is, and all of these folks. The money they have, these corporations have, these financial institutions have in our system, especially with the election system using electronic voting machines. I think they're terrified of that. And so, rather than make waves, they're going to accept his fucking judicial nominees, which aren't his. If you think he's sitting around, you know, with a fucking pair of reading glasses on and a big book in front of him, every time, Google, I haven't got to do it for you, Google fucking Donald Trump in the Oval Office and the Resolute desk. His desk is clear. There is nothing on it. 2 phones with multiple lines so he can make his deals. There is nothing else. There's an empty inbox and an empty outbox. There's nothing else. He ain't reading jack shit. It wasn't his fucking judicial nominee, but it was somebody like Peter Thiel, right? That's who they're servicing now, and it's just as obvious as it could be. People still wrongly think somehow the Donald has this grip of steel on the Republicans because he's so popular, in spite of the fact that they're ignoring the fact that all he had left was MAGA. All he had left was MAGA. And now he doesn't have that. Now he doesn't have that. He might still have a few fucking diehards that are sitting around trying to figure out some goddamn way to make it like, oh my God, it must be somebody else's fault because I love Donald Trump. Oh my God. While Donald Trump does his dance. Getting on my goddamn nerves. Sorry. Should have done that before. As Donald Trump flames out even more and more, calling his fucking base stupid, calling his base fucking weaklings, he loses more fucking supporters. They're burning his fucking hats. They're throwing his merch away. They're taking the fucking flags off their damn pick-em-up trucks. And good for them. More things are being done in his name by the Senate and the fucking House. And you have to ask yourself, he's weak now. God damn, what is going on? He's weak now. He's tremendously weak now. In fact, if it wasn't for who backed him and who put him in office, who flipped the switches, if it wasn't for them, Donald Trump would have been impeached. He'd be gone. I know there's a section out there that like, yeah, he bombed Iran, he bombed the facilities. He bombed what he thought were nuclear facilities that had 900 tons or some shit of uranium enriched to 60%. And he bombed that. It would have caused this massive fucking cloud just blowing in the wind. That's why it's illegal to do that, even in a war. And we weren't in a war. It's certainly illegal to do that internationally, just willy-nilly, because the corrupt leader of some other country who's currently committing genocide wants you to do it. A lot of MAGA and a lot of the fucking Republicans aren't big on fucking starting wars overseas on behalf of some other country. They might be supportive of Israel over top of fucking Palestine, but they're not supportive of ending up sending their own fucking sons and daughters to fight a war for somebody else. That's just stupid. And to think that that's what MAGA is all about, you're just wrong. They're not. They're certainly opposed to that. So he would have been gone. But the power that's flipped the switch, that brought him in, that gave him J.D. Vance, they probably had Curtis Yarvin there too. Here's our plan. You could be Emperor Trump. And so he agreed to it. And now he's just got to find ways to justify. His people have to find ways to justify what he does. I told you before, I think we have a Lolcow president. Let me show you what I'm talking about. First of all, Senate passed the $9 billion cuts in global aid, and well as cuts to public broadcasting for Trump today. While as he's fucking flaming out on his own, what's left of his base, he's flaming out on them. He's calling them fucking weaklings. He's calling them fucking foolish and stupid. That's his base. As his numbers dwindle, the few people who are still there, he's throwing them under the bus. Guaranteeing he's going to have less and less support in the next couple of weeks, if not tomorrow. And yet, the Senate still fucking passed his cuts in global aid and public broadcasting. And they fucking advanced this judicial pick for him in this highly unconstitutional and illegal way in the fucking Senate with no fucking questions. Do you think it's the power of Trumpy Bear that did that? Did I lose that while looking up for something? I guess I did. God damn it. I'm sorry. I thought I was all prepared for class, but I'm not. Do you really think that's what they fucking are worried about? Do you really think big dance? Trump dances like he's jerking two dicks. Yeah. Got those two dicks in my hand. Yeah. What was that image? Wait a minute. What was that image? I gotta see. I'm serious. What the fuck? Do you think that's what they're afraid of? There's qualifications. You have to qualify to be called a Lolcow. First of all, you have to have a skullet and be trying to hide it, which is what the comb over does. It comb over and forward. That's what that does. He has one of the worst comb overs you've ever seen. You can see it. It's just he lets this grow real long and then pulls it forward, pulls it over, and pulls it forward. But he's got a skullet. He has a skullet. So, and this is what people do, what men do, when they are extremely insecure. Like, well, Tim Pool will just put a hat on, wear a hat constantly, but these are Lolcows. This is Cyrax. This is Dark Side Phil. He's growing his hair front on the top as much as he can and combs it forward, but his receding hairline recedes all the way. He's probably got a widow's peak, but he's hiding it. This is King Cobra JFS. And this is only Use Me Blade. These are, look at his toes. Oh my God. So that's one thing about being a Lolcow. You got to have the skullet. Second thing you got to do is just lie. You just got to lie. You got to lie through your fucking teeth all the fucking time. Donald Trump tells you a million lies a day. He just lies constantly. Which is, that stupid fucking thing fell over. I don't care. I got to do this, otherwise you guys are going to, epileptic's going to have a seizure. Sorry. Yesterday, he was telling people at a fucking conference for AI stuff, he brings up fucking his fucking uncle who was a professor at MIT. The dumbest Trump family member becomes president. That's the way it works. But he tells a story about how he said he talked to his uncle one time about Ted Kaczynski, I think is his name, the Unabomber. And he said he found out the Unabomber went to MIT, and he asked his father if he ever taught him at MIT, and he goes, "Oh yes, he was in my classes." And then he said, "Well, what can you tell me about him?" And he said his uncle told him, "Well, he was a good student. He was always correcting other people, other students, but he was a very smart student, very good student." This is what Donald Trump yesterday said about his uncle. His uncle, the guy from MIT, died 11 years before Ted Kaczynski's name was revealed as the Unabomber. So Donald Trump would never have known Ted Kaczynski's name when his uncle was still alive. And the Unabomber never went to MIT. He just made it up. And that's what Lolcows do. They make up things to make somehow themselves seem grander in a way. I don't even know. And sometimes the lies are just pointless. Just pointless lies. Cyrax has this thing about he likes to, as soon as some fucking celebrity somewhere dies that might have any fucking connection to Ohio, that celebrity all of a sudden was his best friend, and they were real close and tight. He's like, oh, upset, and he grief fucking he grief grifts and pretends that he was somehow close to said celebrity. He's done this many times. It's obscene. Well, we have a president who does that shit. And you can talk about, I'm not going to explain to you all the different Lolcow things that they do on this fucking list. But you get what I'm saying. And Donald Trump has done this so many goddamn times. He's a born liar. Delusions. Day before yesterday, Donald Trump came out and said, that he's doing great. The administration's doing perfect. The economy's on the rise. And that the rest of the world has the highest opinion of America and Trump than any president ever in the history of America. Which is just fucking delusional. It's absolutely fucking delusional. He had his doctor say he was 220 pounds and 6'4". He had his doctor write that in his fucking, he's the healthiest man ever, and he's healthier than even Barack Obama was. And you can see something going on with his hand and his face, and obviously he's not 220 pounds, and obviously he's not 6'4". He's delusional. He's delusional. Without a doubt. I mean, you could write a book, and I'm sure there have been books written, and I'm sure there being more being written every day he adds to it. Every day he adds to it. Throwing supporters under the bus. This is a Cyrax thing. This is a fucking King Cobra thing. This is certainly a Dark Side Phil thing. When you have few supporters, as these Lolcows do, real supporters, they get pissed when one of them asks a question that's, and then all of a sudden, oh, fuck you, you piece of shit, and they just go off. Or, fuck you, you stupid fucking foolish weaklings. They just go off. They don't have enough common sense to understand the value to hold on to what little you have, because they're so delusional. They think they have the world loves them. You understand? And because they legitimately, because I think it's easy to say most Lolcows would classify as sociopaths. I think pretty much all of them probably would, maybe. Not psychopaths, just sociopaths. They don't care. They are incapable of really giving a shit about anybody else in the world except themselves. And I think somebody who says they can walk up without even asking permission and grab him by the pussy, I think that qualifies. He sees people as objects. And when he's done using an object, he throws it away. When the razor is fucking dull, he just throws it away. When the stupid, foolish weakling, his words, MAGA supporters, are rightly demanding some kind of real investigation and exposure on what's going on with the Epstein files, that doesn't suit his interests. That doesn't suit his interests. Fuck you, you're out. Because it's not just the fact that Donald Trump is in those files. It's also very powerful people are in those files and would have to answer for their behavior. Listen, that fucking Bondi at one point in time said she had thousands of videos. Thousands. The videos she's talking about are from the mansion. I don't think they got the, because it's in a different country, I don't think they got the Little St. James ones. But, that could be wrong. But, she was talking about the surveillance camera footage that was set up and running constantly in his New York mansion. Donald Trump said he admitted to flying several times on the Lolita Express, but he said, thank God I never went down to fucking Little St. James. Of course I didn't go to Little St. James. He said, thank God I didn't go to Little St. James. Means what? That means that he could have gone. It just didn't work out that way. And thank God it didn't. Phew! Dodged a bullet there. That's how stupid he is. But that's people. I hear the fucking like Hodge twins talking about Little St. James, and everyone acts as if that's the only place shit happened. That's not. Look up that Farmer girl. She was, is it Maria Farmer? Whitney Webb was promoting her for a while. Then it turns out so. But she was an employee. She wasn't. They didn't sexually assault her or try to sexually assault her until she was in the Nevada fucking compound. And her father had to come to the fucking gate, according to her, was honking his horn. Where's my daughter? Stop trying to fuck my daughter. And she was an employee. That was Nevada. And there's all these videos. I think the majority of them came from secretly installed cameras in the fucking New York mansion. The mansion is I think it used to be a school. It's a big-ass fucking thing that's right there on Central Park. It faces Central Park. It's for sale, by the way. But those cameras, somebody said that they saw some of the tapes, and they were talking about the tapes, and they saw this toilet in the bathroom, this toilet in that bathroom, this bathtub in this bathroom, this shower in this bathroom, this fucking guest bedroom, this guest bedroom bed. Even bedrooms that were expressly designed for the children of people visiting. They had cameras secretly implanted, small ones, on the child's bed, in the child's bathrooms. I mean, this is some fucked up shit. So yes, I mean, it was not just Little St. James. What the fuck? Dog, stop that. It wasn't just Little St. James. It wasn't just the Lolita Express, though, there were masseuse tables on that. But it was also the Colorado, Nevada, wherever that fucking compound was over there, and Manhattan. She said, Farmer said, I think it's Maria Farmer. She said that at one point in time, she just hated, she goes, I hated this. Seeing them come in, she was downstairs at the reception in this person's home, in the front door. That was her job. And she said that he would come in with somebody and they would have like a 3 or 4 fucking people and they'd have like 2 kids with them going upstairs. So just because Donald Trump didn't go to Little St. James Island doesn't mean a goddamn thing. That's the first thing. And we can't allow ourselves to think anybody who went to Little St. James fucking who's the fucking guy who's a quadriplegic? Stephen Hawkins. Stephen Hawkins went to Little St. James. You think he had a 14-year-old sitting on his fucking wheelchair? Come on. You have to be able to figure out, to go through, take the fucking time to go through and figure out which ones are pedophiles and which ones had other business dealings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, by the way, is still alive. What we should do is put together, I'm not going to suggest we put together an online fucking investigation, open source investigation team. Fuck that shit. What we should do is put together a group of people who want to do this with some backers and hire real investigators and hire real people like from, what's the one in fucking Scotland? What's the international fucking police agency in Scotland or the UK? What is that? You know what I'm talking about. Former FBI guys. What we should do is put together our own little fucking not-for-profit and go find that motherfucker and do a citizen's arrest on him. That's what we should do. Because he is alive. I tell you that right now. And what's he going to do? Get pissed off and release the stuff he's got? Who gives a shit? Good, release it. I'd be glad to see him. Inflated sense of self-worth. We could talk about that all day long with Donald Trump. He's the greatest this, he's the greatest that. Oh my God, I'm so much better than Biden. And he always has to keep telling himself that. And of course, lastly, totally milkable for the lulz. Which we could do the fucking 2-dick dance video. But you get the picture. I don't think you really need the 2-dick dance picture. What he does all the time. That's his move. You got 2 dicks. One isn't enough. That's the angry, raging 2 dicks. This is what it looks like when I jerk off huge dicks. ABC News, and when drew a dick in this fucking thing. He's just it's funny him crashing out on his own people. The last of his supporters. Calling them weaklings, calling them stupid, calling them foolish. Because he's so desperate to get this thing put to bed. I think I can make a case. I think I already have made a case. That we have, perhaps, certainly in modern times, you can go back and long before the term Lolcow existed, maybe there's, a weaker, sillier fucking president. But George W. Bush, you could argue. Remember him trying to get through that fucking door? Um, I think I've made the case that we happen to be living in a timeline here where we have a Lolcow as a president. And that's just a fact. It's just a fact. Sense of entitlement. That's one that I missed. I got to put that on the list. Watch me misspell entitlement. Oh, I didn't. Good. I made up a word, milkable, and skullet. You like that? Thank you very much. I think it's safe to say that Donald Trump honestly believes he is he is one of the most entitled people on the planet. Even though, he's just constantly always playing golf and shit's going on. Doesn't give a shit. He really expects everyone to do what he says. He thinks he has the power, but it's not him. Which is again another thing that Lolcows do. They have this inflated sense of self-worth. They think they have the power, but it's the person behind them. It's the person behind. And that's what's going on with Donald Trump right now. Anyway, that's my argument for us living in a timeline that we have a Lolcow as a president. And I think I've proven my case. I didn't need to go past the fucking skullet, to be honest with you. Anyway, I thank you guys for your time. Enjoy your Thursday, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.